Today, we are going to be learning about a piece of music called In the Hall of the Mountain King by a Norwegian composer called Edvard Grieg. A composer is a name for the person that writes the music. First, we're going to look at the story behind the music, which is based on a very old Norwegian folk tale called The Legend of Peer Gynt. The Legend of Peer Gynt. There was once a boy named Peer Gynt. He was a bad boy. He stole things, played tricks, and never helped his mother. Everybody hated Peer Gynt. One day, he went to a wedding. There he met the most beautiful girl in the world. He knew the instant that he saw her that he was in love. The girl's name was Solveig. Peer wanted to marry this wonderful girl, but that would not happen because Solveig's parents had heard about Peer and they didn't like him. They told him to leave their daughter alone because she would not marry him. Poor Peer's heart was broken. He knew that he could not stay in the village because seeing Solveig would be too painful for him. So he ran from the village and into the mountains, where he could be alone forever. But little did Peer know that along his way he would have many adventures. Peer Gynt arrived at the hall of the Mountain King. He was then surrounded by many ugly trolls, captured and taken before the king. At first, the king was not happy to have an intruder in their kingdom, but Peer assured him that he was looking for a new home, and perhaps he would be allowed to live there. The king found that he liked this young man and suggested that Peer could marry his daughter. She was beautiful, but not as pretty as Solveig. The king decided that Peer would have to become a troll to marry his daughter. That night, when he was alone in his bedroom, Peer began to think about the king's plan. He decided he did not want to become a troll, but now he had a problem. How could he say no to the king without making him really mad? He decided he had better sneak out of the mountain right then while it was still dark. He filled his pockets with jewels and quickly made his exit across the castle's drawbridge and into the valleys of the mountain. Peer tiptoed through the halls of the mountains, so very quietly. But unfortunately, there were troll guards along the way who heard him. A chase began as Peer frantically tried to escape. At last, the trolls started to surround Peer. He was sure he was going to be captured and turned to face them. They caught him and found that his pockets were filled with gold and jewels that he had stolen from the king. He was dragged back to the castle, where he was put in prison, until he finally agreed to marry the king's daughter, Anitra. Now you might think that you don't know anything about the country of Norway or the story of Peer Gynt, but you will definitely know some of the stories and music inspired by them. The composer Grieg was born in the city of Bergen in Norway. If you think that it looks familiar, then you're right, as the old merchant part of Bergen is thought to be the inspiration for the harbour wharf area in the kingdom of Arendelle in the movie Frozen. Grieg would have grown up listening to the traditional Norwegian folk music, similar to the track called Vuli in the opening of Frozen. You may also have noticed the pictures we showed you during the story. These are paintings by an English artist called Arthur Rackham, which were made to illustrate the book of Peer Gynt, which was a dramatic poem written by a famous writer called Ibsen, who was also born in Norway. Grieg was asked to write the music to go with this dramatic poem. Look at the ladies' traditional Norwegian dresses, and look how similar they are to Anna's costume in Frozen. Arthur Rackham was well known for painting magical beings like fairies and goblins and trolls. In this painting, see how many troll faces you can see hidden in the trees of the background. You can see how the makers of the film Trolls were inspired by this painting of the Troll King. And you can also hear how they used the main theme of In the Hall of the Mountain King in their track, Hair Up. What we want you to do now, before you listen to the music, is to go find a blank piece of paper and some pens or coloured pencils, wax crayons, or even paints. It's up to you. Then, while you listen to the music, we would like you to create your own version of the Hall of the Mountain King. You could draw the trolls waking up. You could draw Pia being chased by the trolls. You might want to do your own creation of the Troll King. If you prefer, you could even create your own Troll King out of Play-Doh or modelling clay. Don't worry if you need more time. You can play the music as many times as you like, or you could go back and listen to the story again and look once again at the paintings. But try to show us some of the mood and excitement created in the music. Very important, once you've finished your masterpiece, remember to take a photograph of it and then hand it in. This is In the Hall of the Mountain King, played by the Seattle Symphony Orchestra. We hope you've enjoyed today's lesson learning about In the Hall of the Mountain King. Don't forget to hand in your artwork, and we look forward to seeing you all in our next Music Matters video.